7 years later, Millionaire's heartwarming reunion on the farm reveals an incredible hidden truth. Jack Thompson cruised down the dusty road, the familiar landscape of his childhood clashing with the glossy image of success he had built. The farm was still there, its vast fields now overshadowed by memories of laughter and loss. 7 years had passed since he traded the quiet rhythm of rural life for the clamor of the tech industry, and now the harvest festival flickered ahead, a bittersweet beacon drawing him back home. As he stepped out of his car, nostalgia washed over him like a warm blanket. The scent of ripe pumpkins mingled with the crisp autumn air, stirring the heartache of leaving his father to fight illness alone. His father's empty chair at the family table was a ghost that shadowed him, making the waves of applause around him melt into background noise. Jack scanned the crowd, eventually locking eyes with Emily, the one who had always captured his heart. She stood strong and beautiful at the center of the festivities, organizing the local co-op with practiced ease, a lifeline for the struggling families of the town. But her eyes told a different story, one laced with mixed emotions as they met his. They were miles apart, yet so close it made his chest tighten. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Jack pushed through the thickening crowd, determination and uncertainty battling inside him. He had come not just to reconnect but to make amends. He envisioned a revitalized farming co-op, something to breathe life back into the community plagued by hard times. But whispers began to coil around him, old accusations surfacing like wind-blown dust. He abandoned us, they said. Left for riches. Emily's voice sliced through the air, filled with resentment. You think you can just waltz back in and save the day? This town needed you, Jack. You turned your back on us. Her words hung in the air like a weight, echoing the doubts he'd buried deep. The chasm of misunderstanding felt insurmountable. How could he explain that his departure was driven by love, by a promise to care for his father, not greed? As the festivities reached a climax, Jack stood before the crowd, heart racing. I owe you all the truth, he said, voice shaking yet resolute. He revealed the sacrifices, the sleepless nights spent searching for answers, and the burden of his father's care costs. With every confession, he saw faces soften, then harden again as the rumors crashed against his sincerity. But just when hope flickered alive, the trauma of neglected dreams loomed. Emily's silent heartache mirrored the town's collective sorrow, each unspoken word weighed heavy in the crisp air. They had both lost so much. Could it be possible to mend what was broken, or were they destined to remain forever bound by the scars of betrayal? As the night sky darkened, Jack and Emily stood silently, separated by their past, yet yearning for connection. Across the festival, the vibrant laughter masked an undercurrent of unresolved conflict that hung in the balance. Would reconciliation rise from the ashes, or would they forever linger in a cycle of hurt, pride, and lost chances? In that moment, every heartbeat echoed with uncertainty, setting the stage for an unpredictable tomorrow. The festival lights twinkled like stars caught in the excitement of the night, but Jack felt pinned to the ground by the weight of unspoken words. He longed to bridge that chasm between him and Emily, yet fear held him back. Was there any chance for them now, after so much time had passed and so many wounds had festered? Jack took a cautious step closer, heart pounding against his ribs. Emily, before he could finish, a little boy dashed between them, laughing as he chased a stray dog. It broke the tension, but only for a fleeting moment. Emily glanced down, her expression softening, then hardened again as she looked back at Jack. What do you want from me? She asked, bitterness mingling with vulnerability. I want to help, he said, trying to keep his voice steady. This farm, this community, it matters to me. It always has. I was wrong to leave without a proper goodbye. She crossed her arms, a wall built high. You call that an apology? You had your dreams, Jack. But you know what? So did we. And you walked away from ours. He took a deep breath. I know. I realize that now. I thought I was doing the right thing by chasing success. So I could come back with money. I thought it would solve everything. But it didn't. Emily's glare softened just a touch, and Jack seized the chance. I have ideas, resources from my work in tech. I want to bring them here. Together, we can create something that honors the land and the people, something sustainable that helps everyone thrive. Her eyes narrowed, weighing his words against the past. You think it's that easy? You can't just throw money at something and expect it to fix everything. I don't want to throw money at it. I want to invest my time, my skills, in us. In what we can build together, if you let me. The briefest flicker of hope ignited in Emily's eyes, but it quickly dimmed as doubt stole over her face. You don't understand what you're asking. Trust isn't built overnight. I know that, Jack admitted. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I came back to make things right, starting with you. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. Around them, laughter and music continued, a backdrop to their fragile conversation. Jack realized the noise didn't matter. It was just a reminder of what they once shared and what he hoped to rebuild. Emily turned her gaze toward the crowd, caught in thought. What do you expect from me, Jack? Just to forget everything? The pain, the disappointment? No, not to forget, he replied, his eyes earnest. But to remember together. I know it's not just about the farm. It's about us. I've missed you every day, and I've regretted not saying goodbye when I had the chance. She took a step back, assessing him, her expression a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. And what if you leave again? What if this is just another whim? Then I'll earn your trust every day, Jack promised, his voice steady. I'll prove myself. But what if you let me try? Silence enveloped them, thick with anticipation. Jack held his breath, waiting for her response. The crowd swirled around them, alive with hopes and dreams, yet in that moment, it felt as if they were in a bubble, isolated from the world. The question loomed in the air: could they truly start anew? Or were they merely repeating the mistakes of the past? As Emily's expression shifted, something inside Jack flickered. Was it hope or fear? They stood on the precipice of another beginning, poised to cross into the unknown together if she chose to take his hand. What would she say? And what would that mean for both their futures? The crowd around them pulsed with life, laughter echoing against the stars, but for Jack, time stood still as he waited for Emily to respond. He searched her face for clues, every flicker of her gaze sending mixed signals through his heart. Finally she spoke, her voice low and guarded. You really think you can just stroll back into my life and everything will magically be fixed? It won't be easy. I know that. But I believe it can be better, Jack replied, hope threading through his words. Emily's arms dropped to her sides, the fight in her softened. You don't understand what it means to build something from scratch, Jack. What it costs. You were gone when we needed you. Everyone has moved on, including me. The hurt in her words cut deep, yet he pressed on. But you're still here. That tells me something. There's still a piece of this farm in your heart. She scoffed, shaking her head. And what about your heart, Jack? Is it here now, or is it still out there chasing dreams? I thought chasing dreams was the answer, he admitted, taking a step closer. But it never filled the void. And now, being here with you, it's harder, yes. But it also feels right. Her breath hitched slightly, and for a moment, Jack thought he could see the wall around her crumbling. This isn't a game for me, she said, her eyes searching his. I'm not some project you can fix. Then let me help. Together. You're the one who is here, and I want to be part of that. But I need a chance to prove it. He took another step forward, allowing the silence to stretch between them, inviting her to fill it with her thoughts. The distant sounds of the festival faded as he held her gaze, waiting for that flicker of trust to spark. Emily sighed, a complex mixture of emotions playing across her features. It's not that simple, Jack. I've built my life here. You don't know what the past 7 years have done to me, to everyone. We've had to learn to survive without you. And I'm sorry for that. I really am, he said, his voice sincere. But I want to be part of your future. You don't have to do it alone anymore. I've learned to rely on myself, she replied, chin high, defiance battling with vulnerability. Trust is hard. Jack noticed her fingers twitching, an instinctual response betraying how his words were hitting home. Then let us take it one step at a time. We can start small. What if I help with the festival next year? I can plan something big, something that draws more people to the farm. Emily's eyes narrowed slightly, skepticism rising. And if it fails? Just like you left? Then I'll take the fall with you. I promise. But if we succeed, Jack felt his heart race at the idea. Imagine what we could do. How it could change everything for this community together. A moment stretched, silence swirling around them heavier than the festival's music. Jack's adrenaline surged, the weight of what hung in the air almost suffocating. Finally, Emily stepped back, her face before him an enigma. You're asking for a lot, Jack. But maybe we could try. Slowly. Hope blossomed inside him but was quickly shadowed by doubt. What does that mean? She smiled faintly, a spark lighting her features. It means I'll think about it. And you'll work for it. Okay, he said, swallowing the tension that had built between them. I'll work hard to earn your trust. As the laughter of children filled the air around them again, Jack couldn't help but feel the weight lift slightly. He wanted to believe they were stepping into something new, each their own raw moments woven together by shared threads of the past. But could they truly rebuild? Emily touched his arm lightly before stepping away, and the warmth lingered on his skin, a flicker of promise. As he watched her walk back into the crowd, the uncertainty loomed in his heart. Would they find the way to each other again, or would history tear them apart once more? The night was just beginning, but the question on Jack's mind remained: the path they chose could either heal them or break them forever. The vibrant sounds of the festival faded into the background as Jack stood alone, consumed by his racing thoughts. The laughter and chatter of the crowd buzzed around him, a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside. Had Emily truly meant it when she said they could try? Or was it merely a way to dismiss him while still holding on to her anguish? He longed to believe in that flicker of hope she showed. Her smile, however faint, felt like a light in the heavy shadows of regret he had carried for so long. But doubts crept back in, settling deep into his gut. Could he really do this? Could he prove himself worthy of her time, her effort, and her heart? Jack inhaled deeply, trying to focus on the laughter of children playing nearby instead of his turbulent feelings. The colorful lights of the festival illuminated the fields, casting shadows that danced playfully, almost mocking him. He had always loved this place, the farm, the community that had shaped his childhood. Yet he had abandoned it. He had abandoned her. I'm trying to build something here, he muttered to himself, the words barely breaking the surface of his thoughts. But what if it all falls apart again? Determined, Jack shook off the negativity. He had a plan, and for the first time in years, a sense of purpose surged through him. The festival would be a fresh start, not just for him but for all of them. The hard work of rebuilding, reliving memories, and reconnecting with the community would be worth it. With a new resolve, he made his way back through the crowd, searching for Emily. Perhaps he could join her, help her with the festival preparations. If she saw him already invested in the community, maybe she would begin to trust him again. As he neared the center of the festivities, he caught sight of her. Surrounded by a group of volunteers, Emily was in her element. She laughed easily, her confidence radiating as she organized the chaos. Watching her from a distance, Jack felt a pang in his chest, a mix of admiration and longing. He approached cautiously, not wanting to disrupt her rhythm. Need an extra pair of hands? He offered, his voice cutting through the animated conversations. Emily turned, her expression shifting from surprise to contemplation. For a moment, Jack could see the wheels spinning in her mind. Then she smiled, soft but genuine. If you're serious about this, then yes, I could use help. But don't think I'm going to go easy on you. Wouldn't he dream of it, he replied, grinning back. As they took on the tasks before them, Jack worked diligently. He saw how Emily's eyes sparkled when they brainstormed ideas together, her passion for the community igniting his own. They sketched out plans, laughed over simple mistakes, and built that flicker of trust into something more substantial. Each laugh, each shared glance felt like stitching together the disjointed parts of their lives. Soon, however, the conversation turned serious as Emily paused. "Jack, this isn't just about the festival. You being here, it feels like a lot more. I need to know if you're truly committed to this to us." Her words hung in the air, a weighty challenge. Jack's heart raced. This was the moment he had been anticipating, yet dreading at the same time. "Emily, I want this more than anything," he admitted, taking a step closer, searching her gaze for answers. "But I also understand I can't expect it to be easy. I'm ready to fight for your trust." The tension between them flickered with promise. But then she looked away, lost in thought, the moment shifting. "You have to understand that if you want me in your life, it means confronting things from our past. Things we've buried deep. I'm not sure I'm ready for that." Uncertainty washed over Jack like a wave crashing on the shore, overwhelming yet cleansing. Did she realize the depth of her words? Would their painful history become yet another barrier between them, or could it be the key that unlocked a future together? As she looked back at him, a shadow of apprehension crossed her features. Jack felt that familiar flutter in his chest, the mix of hope and fear that had come to define their relationship. In choosing to rebuild the community together, could they also find a way to rebuild their bond? Could they confront their past without getting lost in it? Just as Jack opened his mouth to reply, a loud boom echoed through the night, the fireworks launching over the festival, lighting up the sky with bursts of color. Everyone around them paused in awe, momentarily forgetting their conversations and worries. Jack glanced at Emily, both of their faces illuminated in the golden glow, and he knew this moment was significant. He needed to be ready for whatever came next, for the challenges and the revelations. But would they take the next step together, or would the cracks in their foundation prove too deep to bridge? With hearts entwined, the night ahead offered a promise. But would it lead to healing or heartache? Jack took a deep breath, the fireworks lighting up the night sky above them, each burst of color reflecting the tumult in his heart. Around him, laughter rose again, the festival resuming its joyful pace. But for Jack and Emily, time felt suspended. The bright lights faded into abstract forms, their faces illuminated like a painting hanging in a gallery, frozen in a moment that threatened to break loose at any second. "Emily," he began, his voice steady despite the knot in his stomach. Before he could finish, she squeezed her eyes shut, the flicker of the fireworks mirrored in the shimmer of unshed tears. "Can we not do this here?" "Not now." The plea struck hard. Jack nodded, his chest tightening. "Okay. But we need to talk." Emily's smile faltered, a shadow passing over her features as she stepped away just slightly, gently breaking their closeness. The joyous colors of the festival seemed to dim. They were caught in the space between the past and an uncertain future, stumbling over it like dancers unsure of their next step. She sighed, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "Let us finish this up. It's not just about us right now. We have a festival to run." Jack watched her, the focus shifting back to the tasks ahead. He grabbed a banner and helped Emily position it over the stage. As the colorful cloth unfurled, he felt the rising tension between them like a coiled spring. Every laugh from the crowd seemed to echo a question he was too afraid to ask. That a woman approached them, a big smile stretching across her face. "Jack! Emily! You both are doing so much. The decorations look amazing." "Thanks, Clara," Emily smiled, her eyes turning bright again as she engaged with another volunteer. Jack found himself drifting, watching the ease with which Emily interacted with her community. It was small moments like this that reminded him of why he had come back. Yet the glance they had shared moments ago clung to him like a whisper. But as the festival promised fun and laughter, they also had shadows lurking underneath the lights. Would they really confront their past? What would that even look like? Jack felt adrenaline surge through him. He was ready to dig deep, but was Emily? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the horizon with warm oranges and deep purples, the festival felt alive, music carrying through the air, people dancing, kids chasing each other amidst laughter. Jack knew they had created this vibrant atmosphere together, but it felt like a fragile veneer over a well of unresolved emotions. "Jack," Emily called, pulling him back from his thoughts. "Can you help me set up the sound system? I want to make sure everything's ready for the live music." "Yeah, sure." He gestured toward the corner where speakers lay waiting, and they moved toward them in comfortable silence. There was a connection, a warmth that made it feel effortless. But the weight of their last conversation loomed over him. While Emily connected wires, Jack watched her hands, skilled and confident, yet he sensed a tremble in the air. Just as he opened his mouth to break the stillness, her phone buzzed loudly on the table. "Sorry." She grabbed it, glancing at the screen, her expression shifting from focused to distracted in a heartbeat. "What's wrong?" Jack asked, leaning closer. "Nothing, just my mom," she replied quickly, but he noticed the tinge of worry in her voice. Conversations with parents had a way of bringing back old fears. After a few minutes, she sighed, pocketing the phone. "Let us get back to it." But her usual lightheartedness seemed dimmed. As they worked, Jack wrestled with the urge to push for answers. He felt the weight of his own silence pressing down. "Emily, I know we're both..." "Jack, please," she interrupted, earnest eyes meeting his. "Not now. Just enjoy this moment." For a beat they stood there, caught between the din of celebration and the unresolved tension hovering close. Jack felt a bit of hope flicker within him, urging to break free. But could they find joy amidst their hesitations? As the festival reached its peak, colorful lanterns lit the skies. Could they find a way to face down their shadows together? The night was alive with music and chatter, but Jack could feel their moment drawing near. Would they choose to dive back into their past and, in doing so, perhaps discover a truth that could finally unlock a path forward? As the first notes of the live band began to play, Jack turned to Emily, excitement flaring in his chest, because if this festival started with a promise, then he needed to believe it could end with revelation. "How about a dance?" he asked, holding out his hand. Her laughter rang out like a melody in the night air, yet behind it, Jack caught a fleeting hesitation. Would she take that leap? He couldn't shake the feeling that this simple request would lead them somewhere pivotal, not just tonight, but for the journeys that lay ahead. Emily's eyes sparkled in the vibrant festival lights, but Jack noticed a flicker of uncertainty. It felt like they were teetering on the edge of a precipice, and all it would take was one small push to either fall or to fly. She hesitated, gazing at his hand, and for a moment, time paused again. She started, her voice barely above a whisper, as if the word could shatter the air around them. Jack's heart raced. Just a dance, one simple dance, but it felt tangled in complexities that threatened to unravel at any moment. "Simon," he urged softly, his voice steady despite the storm brewing inside. "It'll be fun. Just for tonight. Let us forget everything else." Jack could sense the struggle within her, a silent battle against memories laced with both comfort and pain. Finally, with a deep breath, she placed her hand in his, light and trembling. As he pulled her close, the world around them faded, and the joyous chaos of the festival melted away. The first notes of the band swirled around them, filling the space with a lively rhythm. Emily stepped back and forth, shy laughter breaking free as they moved, navigating the dance floor like it was a secret world only they inhabited. Jack's heart soared, and in those moments, they exchanged hesitant glances that spoke louder than words. But the moment was fleeting. The energy shifted as a familiar group of friends gathered around them, their cheers and laughter pulling Emily's attention away. Jack forced a smile, moving with her as she twirled beneath the colorful lights, but he felt a growing dread. Would they return to their unresolved conversation once the music faded? "All right, you two lovebirds!" Clara shouted, a mischievous grin spreading across her face. "Show us some moves! Just like old times!" Jack felt Emily's energy dip at the mention of the past. The smile she wore faltered, a shadow swirling behind her eyes. Forcing himself to ignore the pit in his stomach, Jack stepped closer, tightening his grip on her hand. "Let us just dance," he pleaded, guiding her away from prying eyes, weaving through the crowd to a quieter corner. They found a space beneath soft twinkling lights, where the noise dulled into a hum. "Emily," he began, catching her gaze. "I know tonight is for fun, but we can't keep avoiding this." "I'm trying, Jack," she blurted, her frustration bubbling to the surface. "You think it's that easy for me? We have a history that weighs on us, and I just want to enjoy this night." A silence stretched between them, thick and suffocating. The festival continued beyond their little world, but here, it felt like it was just a heavy pause, waiting for resolution. "Then let us embrace the joy," he said, desperately trying to breach the walls she had built around herself. "I came back for us, Em." Her expression softened momentarily, eyes glistening, but then she quickly looked away. "It's not that simple, Jack. You can't just erase what happened." The mention of the past loomed heavy, and Jack felt all the years weighing down on them like a storm cloud. He wanted to scream that he didn't want to erase it. He wanted to understand it, to work through it together. But before he could find the right words, her phone buzzed again, breaking the moment like a harsh reality check. "Just a second," she murmured, the light in her eyes dimming as she glanced at the screen. Jack watched, the walls closing in again as he wrestled with his own feelings, heart aching from their distance even in the midst of celebration. He could see Emily's expression shift as she read the message, the softness leaving her features. Her brows knitted in concern, and the tension snapped taut between them once more. "What is it?" he asked, voice edged with worry. "It's nothing really," she replied hurriedly, stuffing the phone back in her pocket, but the unease in her voice betrayed her. "Emily," he pressed, hoping she would finally open up, but another pulse of uncertainty flared. Suddenly, a loud cheer from the crowd drew both their attentions to the stage where the band was announcing the next act. A playful shout brought laughter back to the air, yet for Jack, everything felt heavy and unresolved. "Are you all right?" he pushed. "It feels like something's wrong." We should probably get back," she replied quickly, stepping back from him, closing off the warmth they had just found. Disappointment washed over Jack. "Emily, this doesn't have to end like this. We can still talk." But before he could say anything more, she turned, moving toward the festival's hustle and bustle, leaving Jack standing alone in a circle of faded lights and unanswered questions. As the music filled the space between them, Jack felt an urgency rise within him. He couldn't ignore the feeling that something was changing, that a truth was on the horizon, but would he be ready for whatever that truth might bring? The festival moved around him like a whirlwind, vibrant and carefree, yet inside him, there was only the aching anticipation of the next moment. What truth would Emily reveal when the night came to a close? As he watched her blend back into the crowd, the question burned in his mind: would they ever find the courage to face their past, or would they let the festival their dreams fade quietly into the night? Jack stood in the shadows, feeling the weight of the moment sink in. The laughter of their friends echoed around him, but he could only focus on the way Emily had turned away, the distance between them growing with every heartbeat. He wanted to call out to her, to bridge the gap that suddenly felt insurmountable. What had he done wrong? As the music pulsed around him, the vibrant colors of the festival blurred into a confusing mix. Couples danced, spinning in joy, unaware of the turmoil just a few feet away. Jack was among the festival-goers, a spectator in his own life. "Jack!" Clara's voice broke through his thoughts, bringing him back to reality as she approached with a group of friends. They were all smiles, holding drinks, and for a moment, the festive energy pulled him in. "You're sulking. Get back out there. Dance. Enjoy." "I just don't think I can," he mumbled, forcing a smile to mask the storm inside him. "Is it Emily?" "She's not worth those sad puppy eyes," Clara said, her playfulness dulled by concern. Jack gave her a quick glance, and she softened. "Look, I know it's complicated, but you two have a thing, don't you?" "Yeah, a complicated thing," he muttered, casting his gaze toward the horizon where the fireworks were being prepared for the evening grand finale. "It feels like we're stuck in the past." "Well, you can change that," Clara encouraged, her voice rising with excitement. "Just go for it. Talk to her." "I tried," Jack replied, the frustration creeping into his voice. I just don't know if she's ready. I can't push her. Sometimes a little nudge is all it takes. Remember what you always say. If you don't try, you'll never know. Clara's eyes sparkled like the fireworks above. Jack ran a hand through his hair, feeling the urgency of the moment pulsate in his chest. Somewhere in him lingered a flicker of hope, a desire to grasp the chance before it disappeared into the night, just like the sparks fading into the sky. Taking a deep breath, he scanned the crowd, spotting Emily laughing with their mutual friends. The way her hair danced with the wind, the glow of joy lighting up her face, pulled at something deep within him. There was still a spark, he could feel it. All right. You're right. I need to talk to her. The words felt like a declaration. With renewed determination, Jack moved through the throng of weekend revelers. Laughter erupted around him, people lost in a moment he was desperate to enter. No more retreating into shadows. He would face this challenge head-on. Emily! He called, weaving through the crowd until he finally reached her. She turned, her smile faltering slightly as surprise danced across her features. Jack, she said, almost tentatively, as if she didn't know what to expect. Can we talk? His heart pounded in his chest, echoing in his ears. Sure, I guess. The reluctance in her voice struck him deep. They stepped aside, away from the noise, to a small clearing where the lights twinkled above like stars. The crowd was distant but lively, and in the quiet, Jack felt the gravity of their history bearing down on them. About earlier, he started, searching her eyes for a glimpse of what she was feeling. I'm sorry if I pushed too hard. Emily sighed, her expression softening as she looked at him. It's not that, Jack. I'm scared. Scared of what? He asked, feeling a mix of hope and fear rise in his chest. Of us, of what comes next, she replied, her vulnerability hanging in the air like a fragile thread. Jack's heart raced. This was the opening he had been waiting for. What if we don't have to be scared anymore? What if we face everything together? For a moment, she hesitated, and he could see her weighing the decision. The lively sounds from the festival faded away, leaving only the pulse of their shared uncertainty. Then, the first fireworks shot into the night sky, exploding in a kaleidoscope of colors. They both turned to watch as lights cascaded down in a brilliant display, but in that moment, Jack's resolve deepened. He reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers. Emily, let us not let our past define us. We have a chance to build something new. Together, Jack said, glancing back at her, desperately hoping she could see the sincerity in his eyes. The fireworks continued to pop, illuminating their faces, but would they illuminate the truth hidden in their hearts? Would Emily dare to step forward into the unknown with him by her side? As they held each other's gaze, Jack could feel the weight of her hesitation and the potential for something extraordinary. Just like the fireworks bursting in the sky, everything was set to change, but would they embrace the chaos around them or let it slip away, fading like the night? The fireworks continued to paint the night sky, each burst a reminder of the choices they were about to make. Jack could feel the warmth of Emily's hand in his, their fingers a perfect match despite the uncertainty swirling between them. He took a step closer, the world around them melting away until only she remained. Emily, this could be our chance, he said, his voice steady despite the rapid thumping of his heart. Whatever fears you have, I want to face them with you, to be there for you. We can find our way. She looked into his eyes, searching for something, an anchor, perhaps. The laughter and music from the festival felt miles away, but in that small clearing, their own world flickered with possibility. What if we mess things up again? She finally asked, her voice barely above a whisper. What if we can't find our way back? Jack took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her words. What if we don't try and spend the rest of our lives wondering what if? There was a moment of silence, filled only by the distant echoes of celebration. Then, a firework exploded overhead with a deafening crack, showering them in a burst of light. Jack leaned in closer, his heart pleading for her to see what he saw, a future full of mistakes, yes, but undeniably filled with moments worth cherishing. Emily, he began, but the words caught in his throat as he saw the wall she had built around herself begin to crack. You're not alone in this. She closed her eyes for a brief moment, thoughts spinning like the fireworks above them. Finally, her gaze returned to him, and in it, he saw a flicker of hope. You think we can find our way? I know we can, he replied, voice firm, surging with conviction. Let us take the leap. As if on cue, another firework illuminated the sky, casting the magic of the festival over them. Jack's heart raced, sensing the shift in her. The world felt full of promise, ready to unfold before them, waiting to be painted with their story. Emily hesitated just a heartbeat longer, then the relief in her exhale mingled with the sound of laughter from their friends, drawing her closer. Okay, let us try. Just like that, Jack's heart soared. The hesitant smile breaking across her face lit everything up. It wasn't just a spark. It was a flame, stronger than the fireworks lighting up the sky. Together? She asked, her voice stronger now. Together, he affirmed, sealing the promise with a soft squeeze of her hand. But as their smiles grew brighter and the barriers between them melted away, Jack noticed something catch Emily's eyes. A figure loomed at the edge of the clearing, watching them closely. He sensed a shift in Emily's expression, from joy to concern. Jack, somebody's coming, she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. Who? He asked, shifting his gaze, but before he could turn fully around, that figure stepped into the glow of lights, and his heart sank at the sight. It was Dylan, the person from the past they both hoped would stay buried. Jack's stomach twisted, the air thick with the sudden tension. Guess what, lovebirds? Dylan quipped, a sly grin playing on his lips. I have something that might change everything for you two. Jack's heart raced anew, this time with urgency. What could Dylan possibly want? And how could this impact their newfound connection? Just what we need, Jack muttered, feeling a mix of dread and determination. What did Dylan know? Was their reunion about to take a turn they never expected? Jack's heart pounded as Dylan stepped closer, a shadow looming over the warm glow he'd finally found with Emily. The laughter and music from the festival pulsed around them, a vibrant backdrop to the tension that wrapped around their moment like a dark cloak. Dylan, what do you want? Jack demanded, his voice steady with an undertone of threat. He had no time for games. He had just fought past the walls with Emily, only to have them threatened by this unwelcome specter from their shared past. Dylan's grin faltered for a moment, as if he wasn't expecting the pushback. I just thought you two would want to know the truth about everything. Emily's hand shifted in Jack's grip. Her anxiety mirrored his own. What truth? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. Let us not do this here, Dylan replied, glancing around as if the mere mention of truth might draw unwanted attention. Meet me at the old barn. I'll tell you everything. Jack recoiled at the thought of the barn, a relic of their youthful mistakes, the setting of their overblown teenage drama. The last place he wanted to find closure. He exchanged a glance with Emily. Uncertainty filled the space between them again, a harsh reminder of the past they'd both tried hard to navigate away from. What if you're lying? Jack replied, trying to keep a steely resolve. You always have a trick up your sleeve. Dylan shrugged, nonchalant. If I were you, I wouldn't take this lightly. You both deserve to know what I know. He paused, letting the words settle. After all, I might have something that could change everything you think you know about each other. As the firework display continued above, the crowd around them celebrated, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing just a few steps away. Emily's eyes darted back to Jack, searching for reassurance, a spark of confidence against the rising tide of worry. Jack, we should hear him out. If there's something he knows, we can't afford to have secrets between us. Her words clutched at Jack's heart. I just don't want to open old wounds, he admitted softly. Maybe it's time we did. Emily's voice was steady and firm, a direct contrast to the uncertainty swirling inside him. He knew she was right, avoiding the issue wouldn't take them forward. Dylan's smirk returned, his confidence buoyed by their hesitation. I'll be waiting, he said, his eyes glinting with a knowing light. He turned, striding away through the throngs of excited festival-goers, leaving Jack and Emily standing in the charged atmosphere, their plans for a new beginning hanging on a precarious edge. Emily's voice broke the silence. What do we do? Jack took a deep breath, searching for the courage he wanted to feel. We go. But we face it together. No more running. No more secrets. As they made their way toward the barn, doubt tightened its grip on Jack. The scent of the fried food from the festival faded behind them, replaced by the earthy aroma of the old wooden structures. Memories flooded back, some beautiful, others painful, all tied to their shared history. Each step felt heavy, each heartbeat echoing the weight of what was coming. As they approached the barn, dusk draped itself around them, a curtain between the joy of the festival and the uncertainties lying ahead. Jack hesitated, holding Emily's gaze. No matter what happens in there, we're strong enough to handle it, right? Her determined nod strengthened his resolve. They pushed open the barn doors, the wood creaking in protest, revealing the dark, shadowy interior. Just beyond the threshold, Dylan leaned against a post, arms crossed, waiting like a cat poised to pounce. The air was thick with unanswered questions, and Jack wondered what truths would reshape their lives. Let us find out, Emily whispered, stepping inside. But as they entered, a flash of light illuminated the barn and Jack sensed that everything was about to change. What revelations awaited them in the darkness? The barn echoed with the pulse of their shared past as Jack and Emily stepped inside, shadows flickering in the dim light. Dylan leaned casually against a wooden beam, his eyes bright with mischief, making Jack's stomach churn. The air was thick with memories, but this time, they weren't here to relive what had happened, they were here to discover what could still be. Glad you could join me, Dylan said, his tone laced with sarcasm. I figured you wouldn't want to miss the truth that's been hiding right under your noses. What are you talking about? Jack snapped, the tension seeping into his voice. He needed to stay calm. He couldn't let Dylan taint the fragile hope he just built with Emily. Dylan shrugged, pushing off from the beam. You remember that summer when everything went downhill? That wasn't just kids being kids. There's a lot you don't know. Jack's heart raced. He glanced at Emily, who stood beside him, her brow furrowed with concern. You can't just throw that at us without context. What are you saying? Dylan chuckled, reveling in the tension he created. Let me explain. And before you jump to conclusions, just know this affects more than just your past. What do you mean? Emily's voice trembled slightly, but Jack felt her resolve hold strong. There were things happening behind the scenes that you never considered. Secrets that could change the way you view your lives and your choices. Dylan leaned in closer, the dim light catching a glint in his eyes. Like the fact that Jack should have known about your father's health issues long before he left. And the truth about how he found out while you were struggling through that time. Stop, Jack interjected, anger flaring. He couldn't let this unfold like some twisted tale. That's low, even for you. Emily's expression shifted, the worry morphing into something deeper. Wait, what do you mean, Jack? Jack took a breath. I thought I was protecting you. I didn't want to put more on your plate, while you were already handling so much. What else didn't you tell me? She pressed, her voice firm yet edged with vulnerability. Dylan smirked as he crossed his arms. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But I'll leave you two to unravel this mess on your own. Don't you dare walk away, Jack growled, anger surging. You brought this to us, and now you're going to finish it. Fine, Dylan said, rolling his eyes. You want the truth? That summer, it wasn't just about the farm and the community, it was about families watching each other fall apart. Your father was leaning on Emily's family while Jack was busy chasing dreams in the city. And when Jack finally came to help, he was blind to the truth that Emily had been suffering alone. The weight of the accusations hung heavily in the air. Jack's heart sank. The guilt he buried churned to the surface. Emily, I didn't know, he said quietly, turning to her, fear gripped him. I thought I was making the right choice. Her eyes brimmed with sadness yet held fierce determination. And it hurt. You left, Jack. You didn't see that I was drowning. I had to learn how to survive without you. Emily, I was trying to help Dad. I thought it was the best for both families. I wanted to be there for you too. I loved you. The words burst forth from his lips, raw and powerless. But you left, she shouted, frustration spilling out. And even if it was out of love, it hurt. You hurt me. You hurt us. The way I found out, I was devastated, Jack continued, tears welling in his eyes. When I got the call, it shattered me. I believed I had chosen the right path for your sake, thinking I was doing it all for love. Dylan smirked. Well, love just complicated things even more, huh? Jack felt the tightness in the air shift. He turned and faced Dylan. What do you want from us? I want you both to wake up. The past can't be erased, but it also can't define your future. Use it. Don't ignore it. Emily clenched Jack's hand tightly, the warmth a silent promise between them. Are you telling us to confront our pain? To embrace our mistakes? Dylan shrugged. You can't build anything lasting without facing what broke it in the first place. Or you'll be doomed to repeat it. Jack took a deep breath, the suffocating weight of regret hanging in the air. But now, Emily stood beside him stronger than before. And what do you think we should do? He asked Dylan. Face each other. Talk. Make the mistakes mean something. Fight to build something together instead of letting it all collapse again. Maybe you can still create a future worth believing in. The words settled heavy around them. Jack looked at Emily, their eyes locking in mutual acknowledgement. They had a long way to go, but they had at least a thread of hope, a flicker of what could be. Dylan, if you're leaving, you should know that we're done letting the past control us, Jack said, his voice firm. We're choosing to face our future. As Dylan turned to leave, the pressure in the room lightened. They both watched him disappear into the barn's shadows as the soft hum of the festival outside burst through the stale quiet. Jack, Emily started, her voice quivering slightly. Can we talk now? Just you and me? Yeah, he replied softly, the weight lifted a fraction more. They took a step toward that flickering light of a new beginning. With a heart full of questions but a determination to move forward, they left the shadows of the barn. Outside, the festival carried on, laughter and cheers ringing through the crisp night air. The fireworks still lit up the sky, a vibrant symbol of what they were fighting for, a bright future amidst the darkness of the past. Let us not let this night slip away, Jack whispered, his fingers intertwined with Emily's. Together, she replied, her voice steady and sure. As they stepped toward the warmth of the festival glow, they knew it wouldn't be easy, but they were ready to face whatever came next, side by side. And just like that, with laughter and fireworks surrounding them, they took that first step toward healing, leaving the shadows of the past behind. Now it was time to write their own story with each other, once again. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support is crucial. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. I'd love to hear from you. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't keep this to yourself. This is the moment to show your support because true fans know the power of community. Don't wait not even one more second to share.